A lot of you don't know that the arts and cultural scene in Polk County is vibrant. It is a very strong program, has a lot to do with the leadership here, the people that are involved. One of those people is sitting to my right, to your left, if you're directionally impaired on your television viewing screen. His name is Daryl Ward, former principal, 6 years, I believe, at the Harrison School of the Arts, adjunct professor at Florida Southern, now at Southeastern University, and a bunch of other stuff. So originally from the panhandle of Florida, grew up in Mulberry, Florida.
Yep.
Daryl Ward. Daryl, welcome to Ward.
Thanks, guys. It's the second year in a row, and I've learned. Last year I had a sport coat and no sunglasses. So, Mulberry taught me something. So this year, I'm really, because we're on the beautiful shores, as you said in your opening here in Lake Morton, but it's a beautiful day, but it's a warm May day, and so I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad to see he got the lake right, because I didn't.
Yeah, we
I've got
we
a
didn't
lot
get
of stuff
the lake
wrong
right
today.
at all.
This has not been good. Probably bottom 1% of Mark Jackson's shows over 30 years on television, but it is what it is. You just move on, you have a laugh, and keep moving. Daryl, the organization that you're leading now, okay, it's changed a lot since you've taken over, a lot. Sort of a new face, new direction. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the Polk Arts and Culture Alliance, previously we were the Polk Arts Alliance, so we did a name change because, the theme of the program, right, culture. The two previous coaches talked about culture, and they're, what are they talking about with culture but the identity, right, the identity of their program. When we talk about culture in Polk County, as you said in the opener there, Mark, it's the same thing as what's Polk's identity? What is unique about it to live here? And so our arts and cultural heritage organizations and programs and events, you can think back to whether it's a historical event or a historical place like L.B. Brown House in Bartow, or it's Mayfaire by the lake, or it's Pig Fest. I mean, you don't think about that, but that's a very cultural thing, right? And you hit the nail on the head. It's very vibrant. And so at the Polk Arts and Cultural Alliance, what I've really tried to work to do is promote those arts and cultural organizations and elevate the things that they do, and as well as bringing attention to just the fact that there's so much to do. Polk County is very large. My joke for years when I was a principal, and people are like, oh, Polk County this, Polk County that, there's nothing to do. And I used to say, do you live under a rock? Because there's just a lot of stuff to do because we have such robust culture here in Polk County.
And I was going to say robust amount of talent. So from your time at Harrison, the number of professional artists who have come out of there or have come into the private sector and working a job and still contribute. Tell us about that.
Well, and that's a great kind of segue, Jack. I was speaking with some people this week related to the school system, and we were touring arts facilities, and we were just talking about the arts, and we saw some wonderful programs, but I was really quick to remind them that the arts teach problem solving. That's really what it is. And so you may be studying to be an actor or a visual artist or a vocalist, but you're learning about problem solving and how to make things work, which, to your point, is transferable to any career. I always share a personal example. My daughter went to Harrison. She was a theater person. She's not an actress. I'm okay with that. But she used that skill in front of some high-level executives in the line of work that she's in. The poise she learned on stage and how to project and all that thing. So that's the key about arts. My standard line for years was art makes you smart.
And it's a team sport as well, which I think
Absolutely.
a lot of people don't realize is a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. That's just as much teamwork as there is on the gridiron.
If you want to see teamwork at its finest in that sector, watch a symphony orchestra. Now, there are solos, right, but that orchestra doesn't work if they're not working as a team, right? Yep. And now, granted, they're solo musicians, but I'm not talking about that component of it. Do you go hear an orchestral piece or even a choral piece? Again, there may be soloists, but if it's a unison effort, it truly is team. And if the one section doesn't carry their weight like any other team sport, then it doesn't work right.
He's a soloist, kind of like you, Jack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jack's a soloist. He sings so low nobody can hear him.
Yeah, and they're thankful.
Yeah.
Sing 10 or 2.
Oh, yeah.
10 or 20
10
miles
or 20
from
miles
here.
away, yeah.
We're going to run through every one of the arts jokes before we're done.
Daryl, we watched the arts and culture program underneath Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing, more affectionately known by Visit Central Florida.
Right.
And that arts program has grown, providing help to events like right here at Mayfaire by the Lake.
Right.
And that certainly has made a difference over the years in terms of the visibility. And I will argue the credibility of some of the art and cultural and heritage activities that go on here in Polk County.
Right. Millions of dollars over the 11 or 12 years that program's been in existence to big events like Mayfaire and to smaller events, right, that are designed to bring in visitors and guests. And one of the things that we did that Visit Central Florida helped us with, Mark, this past year is we published the first ever Polk Arts Guide. It's a print guide that are in the visitor centers, and our friends at Visit Central Florida took it out of the county. And so people could pick that up and see where's the live music in Polk County? Where are all the theaters? I got a great kind of testimonial about that the other day. I was at the Bartow Art Guild, and the director, Marcia Mullins, who was an artist, by the way, here at Mayfaire this weekend. She told a story of a couple wandered into her art guild, and she was just making conversation with them. How'd you find out about us? And she said, or they told her they were new and they were just trying to get involved in the art scene. And she said, well, how'd you find out about us here at the Arts Guild? And she said, we got a copy of the Polk Arts Guide. And those are the kinds of things, right? That marketing that we all do together. I'll share another testimonial. My wife said, you've got to tell Mark Jackson this story. My wife is the Chief Learning Officer at the Florida Children's Museum in Bonnet Springs. And she had a grandparent and a mom and dad and a couple children in the museum. Really, she was talking with them, got to having conversation with them. The grandparents live in Cape Coral. Okay. The family was from somewhere in the northeast. They purposely chose Polk County, so they're staying in our hotels to visit Legoland and the Florida Children's Museum.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that's a testimony to the work that your team and that our teams are doing to market the amazing cultural entities and things that are going on here in Polk County.
Well, and it is a team effort. That's one thing we talk about a lot, and we saw it in our previous guests, that when you pull your resources together, you all head the wagon in the same wagon train in the same direction, you accomplish more than if you're just trying to do it yourself.
Right.
But in all my travels throughout the world, throughout the United States, one thing about Polk County that very unique is that there's a lot of, I don't like the word collaboration. That's a meaningless word, but there's a lot of cooperation. There's even co-opetition, where if you're in competition, you're still working together for the greater good. Yeah. That's not normal.
And I think
this is an unusual community.
It is, and I think, Mark, COVID really forced that on a lot of people, right? You in many smaller arts organizations.
That's a great observation.
They had to do that to exist, or they were gone.
Right.
And I've seen that kind of remaining now after COVID is, it's still here, but after the COVID pandemic stuff, that those organizations are realizing exactly what you said, that the proverb about a rising tide raises all ships. They really are understanding that.
Well, before we let you go, and we've got to wrap this up real quick, if people want to get more involved, they want to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
What's the best way to do it?
Our website is polkarts.org. They go to polkarts.org. They can email me. They can find out that when you come to the website, it's a calendar of what's happening because it's instant feedback with that. Real quick plug, if I may, we're excited about the Polk Arts and Culture Hall of Fame event we have coming up in October. We're making that a kind of more gala event. It's going to be at Bonnet Springs Park, and it's time we honor and celebrate some of the iconic arts and culture heroes and heroines that we have here in Polk County.
Wow. That was like really a good commercial.
That was a great
cut
commercial.
And paste that one and put it on PGTV. Fantastic. Daryl, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks
You're always
for
a
having
blessing.
me, guys. I appreciate it.
You've been a blessing to the arts and culture community here in Polk County. We always appreciate your partnership and involvement, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview and want to watch more Sports Central, click the video below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.